if this is going to be very funny, if the consequences of cheating was getting your private parts closed up for 6 months, I promise you there'll be way less cheaters in the world than now. Like, you get the message already. I don't know if I needed to say that, but you can picture that. Like, for example, you cheat, boom, it closed up, like out of service. You can't use it, it disappears. Yes, that's a perfect, and it sounds not too harsh. Your private part disappears for 6 months if you cheat. There'll be way less cheaters in the world because we fear end results that will lead us to harm. We fear things that will harm us. So if your brain and body can do anything to prevent harm, it will do it. So you need to start putting in scenarios and imaginable circumstances where you suffer if you don't do a certain task, if you don't do something. That's one trick that has worked in my life, due to personal experience, and I just use it now. I'm not in boarding school, no one is going to flog me, no one is going to do anything, but I just put suffering as the end result if I don't do something. Or say, if you don't wake up and edit this podcast, you are going to lose so and so. Like, I just put something bad, something scary, and then I'm like, okay, shit, I don't experience that. So let's do it. I don't want that to happen, so let's do it. I don't think I need to keep on blabbing about that point because I'm sure you get it. And by the way, if you have like a strategy you use, because everyone has their different means and ways. If you're listening to this and you have ways you overcome laziness and manipulate it and play the game and not letting the game play you feel me? Please share with me so I can share with the people, to the listeners of this podcast. My DMs are wide open. You all know that already. Please share with me. I'd love to learn and see the different ways you all came up with to overcome laziness, because laziness is a bitch, yo. It's so, it's one of those slow killers, and I hate slow killers because you don't immediately see the effects of slow killers. Like, procrastination is a slow killer, laziness is a slow killer. Like, there's no immediate repercussion. It's something that builds up and then you see it after a year. After the year is over, then you be like, oh shit, damn, I didn't reach this goal, I didn't do this because I was lazy. You don't see it immediately. The same thing as hard work and laziness are like twin brothers, but they're opposites. You keep on working hard for a year, you don't see anything, but then you see it on 365th day. You feel me? Laziness also, you don't see the problem of being lazy until the 365th day. So it's very tricky. You choose your twin brother to roll with. I choose hard work and smart work because I do not want to suffer. I do not want to live a bad life. I do not want to be able to do nothing when my family or friends need me. I do not want to be able to help myself when I need it because of something, Like, I don't want to be in the hospital bed where my kids are, in their prime because I have some terminal disease, and that's because I was too lazy to quit. For example, smoking, I was too lazy to quit. Vaping, I was too lazy to quit, eating too much sugar and too much stuff that will give me diabetes later in my life. I don't want that to happen. It's not because I want to live such a healthy life when I'm old. Who cares? I just don't want to be unhealthy and incapable of helping myself. I don't want to be a burden on others. That's why I am not doing some certain things. That's why I'm overcoming. There's a twist on it. That's why I'm overcoming the laziness not to do some certain things, It's very easy to just pick up a vape and just, all day. You feel me? It's hard work and smart work. Just put it down and think of the repercussion later in the future. Because every single person I've met that smokes doesn't want to smoke. At least 95% of people that I've met that smoke, they do not like smoking, They're like, it's for stress and all of that. There's so many other solutions for stress. And these things that they know, they tell me, we discuss these things, but then they can't stop. It's because they have not put like a bad ending towards it. They know that, smoking, all this stuff causes, is bad for you and blah, blah, blah. But they have not really, really created their own personal worst case scenario of smoking, I've already put it in my head, all these things. Like, I've seen people already that are going through the things I do not want to go through because of the habit they were doing when they were young. You feel me? So create your own personal nightmare and let it haunt you if you don't do something, or if you do something, depending on the, scenario. You feel me? Share your own personal, strategies and ways you overcome laziness and you win the game. You feel me? Thank you. Now let's go back to why I was lazy because I told you, even when this is how I was brought up, this is, my upbringing in life, laziness wasn't an option. I was also in a phase in life where laziness, procrastination, depression, anger, anxiety just took over me. And it happened after my injury, when I got injured, when I fractured my shin playing basketball, and I couldn't play basketball again for more than a year. That was when laziness hits me. And it's not because I had a reason to be lazy. There's never a reason to be lazy. It's because now I was scared of success. I was scared of working hard. I was scared of failure again, because basketball is something I was working hard in, and I got messed up. It's messed me over. It caused hurt to me, and I was scared of having that feeling again, or having that phase in my life again where I was doing something and working so hard at it, and all of a sudden something out of my control happens. I was scared of it. So I didn't do anything towards my life. I didn't do anything to help my life or chase any dreams or goals again after that injury, because I was too scared of failing. And I was too scared of success, because what happens when you're successful and then it all just crumbles, or something out of your control just messes everything up? When you're about to put, the last piece of the puzzle, someone just steps on it and scatters it. What if that happens? I was scared of that scenario. I was scared of not getting the puzzle perfectly right and putting the last piece and look at it and find out that the eyes are in the mouth and the mouth are in the ear. That kind of thing. That was the fear that was making me lazy and down and procrastinating everything, because I knew what to do. The thing is that we always have the answers. I knew that I had to do something other than basketball, because now my basketball career is on a big hold, and I needed to do something, to keep my life going, to keep my blood pumping, something. I knew I needed to do something. I knew the things, I knew the options I had. I had all the knowledge, but I didn't have the motivation or drive. And I just allowed laziness win every single time. Because your brain, like I was saying, is built to protect you from danger, from things that are outside your comfort zone. So how do I say this? When you wear your shoe, when you put on your belt, when you go brush your teeth, you do not think, you do not analyze, you do not even pause. You just do it. Because you're 100% sure of the steps or ways to do these things. And you kind of know the result already. If you put on your shoe, the shoe's on your leg. It's very simple. But then when we start doing things like chasing our dreams, like doing something that you are not already accustomed to doing, you start analyzing, you start thinking too much, you don't know the end results, so you're agitated. And your brain doesn't know what's going on, but all it knows is that you are not comfortable. You are not at peace. Something is shaking within you. So it tries to pull you back from that thing, because it senses whatever that thing is. It doesn't know if it's your dreams, and it doesn't know if it's a actual bad thing you should be avoiding. It's just trying to pull you away from that thing. It's trying to stop you from doing that thing. That's what the brain is there for. So you need to step out of your comfort zone forcefully to do it. And there's a video I saw a few months ago, a few years ago, I can't remember. I think it was by Mel Robinson. She has this 5-second rule that she uses. So apparently her and her husband lost their jobs, and their husband started a restaurant and something like that, and made all their friends and family invest in the restaurant. And all of a sudden, the restaurant had a loss, and they opened another one, because I'm not really sure, don't quote me exactly on this, but basically they had a restaurant business and it's all folded up, and they were in a huge loss. They were bankrupt basically. And she was so scared of doing anything. When she woke up, she would hear these kids crying. She wouldn't, answer them. It was time to take the kids to the school. She would forget about that. She would skip that. She was scared of doing anything, because obviously she had the shame from the family, people that she was avoiding. That's fear. And all these things was keeping her in bed. So she stayed for bed way longer than she should have. She'd get up from bed in the afternoon when she didn't have to do anything, and stuff like that. And how she overcame this, it was a very bad thing in her life, basically. She used to fight with her husband and then ruminate over that and all that stuff. But how she came up with the solution to start getting out of bed, which sounds very simple, like, oh, just get out of bed. But getting out of bed means you have to do 1,000,001 things after you get out of bed. That's why people don't get out of bed. It's because of the things, the tasks, the day that is in front of them. That's what keeps them in bed, not the bed actually. It's very easy to get out of bed. So she came up with this 5-second rule where she woke up and she was like ready to get out of bed. Instead of her thinking of the things she had to do and the problems she had in her life, she just counted from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like my seniors in high school. And when I heard this, I was like, oh damn, this is what we did in high school every single time. That's why we were good. We always had a 5-second rule or a 10-second rule or a 20-second rule with everything we're doing. Even if they had this large land of grass to cut, there's a senior that will stand there with 5 of you and he'll count 20, 19, 18, and we just become robots and we do it, and even if 20 finishes, there's very, very, very little that is left, and then we get whooped, and then in 5 seconds it's done. But if no one is there, oh my goodness, we take our time, we drag it. You don't have that drive, you don't have that. There's nothing to lose if you don't do it. There's nothing to lose if you take your time. There's nothing that's going to happen if you chill. But the moment you start hearing that countdown, that 5, 4, that 10, 9, that 20, 19, whatever it was, whole spirit, soul, and body just moves and is more focused. That is another thing you can use. Have a countdown for your activities, it's time to work out before you even start thinking or how hard the workout is or how hard it is for you to wear your shoe, or you thinking of the way you're going to be tired and is actually physically painful to work out. Before you start thinking of any of that, just start counting 5, 4, 3, and boom, start something. If it's wearing your shoe, boom, shoes, 5, 4, 3, 2, workout clothes, 5, 4, 3, gym bag, 5, 4, 3, I'm out in the car, 5, 4, 3, in the gym, start doing something. Or if you're working out from home, 5, 4, 3, push-ups. Let that countdown be the trigger for you to begin something. So when you're in bed, before you start thinking about the day, before you start thinking about the things you have to do, you know it already. You do not need to think about it. Start counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, boom. Start doing it. That 5 seconds that you counted down, instead of starting to think and starting to calculate and starting to analyze, just saved your life. Literally. That 5-second rule is a lifesaver. Like anytime you're in a tough pinch, like even if for example, you're giving a presentation and now you start to feel that people are not paying attention, you start to feel people are bored, you start to feel that your message is not getting across, in your head, just do 5, 4, 3, 2 and snap back into it. Snap back into the confidence you had. Snap back into positive thoughts, because whatever you think shows and portrays on your body. So if you think they were not paying attention to you, you're going to start, that sadness is going to start showing on your body, on your face, and then they'll actually now stop listening to you. So you kind of manifested it both physically and mentally. But if you're lit up and you have that energy that you had at the beginning, even if they lose focus for 5 seconds because they see such high energy and focus going on, you're going to keep them back in focus. So, and this applies to so many things, anything that you have problem with that you're lazy about. I don't care if you're scared of the success, if you're scared of the failure, if you're scared of trying, if you're scared of the pain of the journey of it, just literally count 5 seconds and start doing an action. Like, stop wasting time thinking, stop wasting time analyzing, stop wasting time planning. The thing is that when you start taking actionable steps, you think while doing it, like when I was scheduling my Pinterest content for the podcast, instead of me sitting down and, drawing a timetable and, sketching out the ideas that I had and how I wanted it to look, I just literally logged in and pressed plus and create. Then I'm thinking while I'm doing it, like I'm not really spending my time thinking so much on how to do it. Obviously, I did a little bit of research to know what the hell I'm doing. But from the moment you acquire the necessary knowledge to do whatever you want to do, stop thinking and analyzing and strategizing. You have the knowledge, boom, action. Start doing it. Because while you're doing it, you're going to have to think. You cannot take action without thinking. You cannot do anything without thinking. Literally, you're thinking 24/7. So instead of just thinking, act and do, talk and do, think and do, be doing while you're thinking, be doing while you're analyzing. And then you can actually even open more doors, to open your mind more to more things, because now you're seeing what you're thinking. You feel me? This is another way you can combat laziness. This is another way I combat my own laziness, because the moment I start thinking now,